Welcome to Headline Hub Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Breaking news flashes across screens worldwide. U.S. returns to Subic Bay. Headlines declare the world's largest military base rises in the Philippines to counter China. Images show massive cargo ships and military transports gliding into Subic Bay's deep waters. It's September 30th, 2025. The once dormant naval base is roaring back to life. This isn't just a return, it's a transformation. After months of negotiations, Subic Bay is now the largest, most advanced American military logistics and munitions hub on the planet. The announcement sends shockwaves from Washington to Beijing. On TV, retired generals point to maps, highlighting Subic's strategic command over the South China Sea. The project is immense, a multi-billion-dollar investment to pre-position military hardware, fuel, and supplies. This isn't a base for permanent combat troops, but a colossal logistical heart for U.S. and allied forces across the Indo-Pacific. On the ground, thousands of Filipino and American workers retrofit old facilities and build new, state-of-the-art infrastructure. The air hums with heavy machinery and the chatter of different languages, a testament to joint enterprise. This revival is a direct result of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, now expanded to meet 21st century challenges. America is embedding itself as a logistical cornerstone of regional security, with Manila's full consent. For the Philippines, it's a moment of triumph and trepidation. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. hails a new era of partnership to safeguard Philippine sovereignty. Yet, beneath the optimism, anxiety lingers. What price will the Philippines pay for this newfound security? Subic Bay's value is written into the geography of Southeast Asia. A natural deep-water harbor, sheltered by mountains, it's one of the world's finest anchorages. Its location on Luzon's west coast faces the South China Sea, mere hours from the region's most contested maritime zones. From Subic, naval vessels can rapidly deploy to the Spratlys, Paracels, and vital sea lanes. Its proximity to flashpoints makes it a strategic prize. Subic Bay has long been a pivot for foreign powers, first Spain, then the U.S., which built it into a major ship repair and supply facility. For nearly a century, Subic and Clark Air Base were the backbone of American power in the Pacific. The base symbolized the U.S.-Philippine alliance, shared history, mutual defense, and complex sovereignty issues. Its closure in 1992 was a powerful assertion of Philippine independence. For 2 decades, Subic thrived as a commercial hub, but China's rise and its actions in the South China Sea shifted Manila's perspective. The U.S. return is not a repeat of history, but a calculated response to a changed world. Under EDCA, there are no permanent American bases, just access to pre-position equipment and conduct joint training. Subic's revival is the ultimate expression of this new, flexible military cooperation. The new Subic Bay facility is a marvel of modern military logistics. Dozens of blast-hardened munitions depots store everything from small arms to long-range missiles. Massive fuel farms can refuel entire carrier groups and fleets of aircraft. Upgraded port facilities with heavy-lift cranes and automation turn Subic into a high-speed pit stop for Indo-Pacific operations. The goal: eliminate the tyranny of distance for U.S. forces in Asia. By pre-positioning supplies, the U.S. can respond to crises in hours, not weeks. This makes defense commitments to the Philippines far more credible. The hub is joint. Filipino forces train in advanced logistics, gaining access to equipment and interoperability. The Philippines becomes an active participant in a shared defense network. The scale of munition storage is a powerful deterrent. Potential adversaries must now factor in a swift, overwhelming response. Subic's presence changes the strategic calculus for any would-be aggressor. The base stands as a silent guardian, its existence a message of resolve. Across the South China Sea, its shadow looms large. Subic Bay is the physical anchor of America's Indo-Pacific strategy. Washington knows economic influence and diplomacy alone can't counter China's military rise. The new approach, a credible, forward-deployed posture to deter aggression and reassure allies. Subic is the logistical pillar of this networked strategy. The U.S. military faces threats from China's missiles targeting bases in Japan and Guam. The answer: agile combat employment, dispersing forces across resilient locations. Subic acts as a primary distribution hub, supplying mobile units throughout the region. The investment signals long-term U.S. commitment, reassuring allies like Japan, South Korea, and Australia. Integrated deterrence, combining military, diplomatic, and economic power, rests on Subic's foundation. The base allows U.S. diplomats to negotiate from strength and investors to trust in regional stability. By making the cost of aggression unacceptably high, Subic aims to prevent war, not just prepare for it. For the Philippines, welcoming the U.S. back to Subic is a calculated gamble. Years of Chinese harassment in the West Philippine Sea left Manila with few options. The expanded EDCA sites, with Subic as the crown jewel, are seen as the only credible way to push back. Economically, the project promises tens of thousands of jobs and a regional boom. Many Filipinos remember the prosperity of the old base days and see tangible benefits. Yet, fears of a return to a quasi-colonial relationship persist. Critics warn the U.S. presence compromises sovereignty and makes the Philippines a target. Protests erupt, demanding true independence and warning of entanglement in great power rivalry. The government must balance security and economic gains with domestic backlash and the risk of being dragged into conflict. The nation's soul is torn between the need for protection and the yearning for independence. Subic's revival is a direct response to China's military expansion and assertiveness in the South China Sea. Beijing's naval buildup and militarized islands have challenged regional stability and Philippine sovereignty. China's rejection of the 2016 arbitral ruling and continued harassment of Philippine vessels forced Manila's hand. The Subic hub is a strategic countermove, deterring further aggression by raising the risks for Beijing. It gives the Philippines the backing to assert its rights, knowing the U.S. can now respond rapidly. Subic complicates China's plans, forcing greater caution and blunting its coercive advantage. Subic Bay's impact extends beyond the U.S.-Philippine alliance. It's a critical enabler for a network of Indo-Pacific partnerships, supporting multinational exercises and operations. For allies like Japan and Australia, Subic is a game-changer, providing a forward logistics node for regional security. In a Taiwan crisis, Subic and other EDCA sites would be vital for U.S. and allied operations. The base sends a clear signal: any conflict would involve a broad, well-supplied coalition. Subic also forces ASEAN to confront internal divisions over the U.S.-China rivalry. It strengthens coalitions like the Quad and encourages trilateral cooperation with Japan and Australia. Subic is the infrastructure that turns bilateral ties into a cohesive regional security network. The strategic benefits of Subic come with immense risks for the Philippines. Hosting a critical U.S. facility puts the country on the front line of U.S.-China rivalry. In conflict, Subic would be a top target, turning great power rivalry into an existential threat. China will use economic pressure, disinformation, and political tactics to punish Manila. Internally, sovereignty debates and social challenges will intensify. The government must show clear benefits to outweigh the risks and manage both external and internal pressures. The stakes for the nation's future have never been higher. Subic's revival is a massive economic stimulus, creating jobs and attracting investment. The enhanced security and infrastructure make the region a magnet for business. But prosperity depends on stability. If conflict erupts, economic gains vanish overnight. The Philippines is betting its future on a base meant to deter the very war that could destroy it. It's a high-wire act with no safety net. Subic's story is the Philippines' story, caught between superpowers, striving for sovereignty and growth. The U.S. alliance is a bold move for security and prosperity, but it ties the nation's fate to great power competition. The calm waters of Subic Bay now reflect the turbulent currents of the 21st century.